So today we're testing Revolut Business and Airwallex, and on the things that matter most when you're trying to grow your business. So I'm talking about how you're getting paid and how you're spending, and most importantly, what your costs look like once you start hitting those monthly allowances. Because with Revolut Business, things can be very affordable inside of their plan caps, but once you go over, then you can start to see extra costs, like weekend FX charges and fees from international transfers. Airwallex, on the other hand, takes a different approach, and we'll be looking at this shortly in the video, but in short, currency exchange fees are fixed at a margin on the interbank rate with no weekend surcharges, and most local transfers aren't tied to plan allowances. I've also got active accounts with both providers, so I can show you inside each dashboard and what they look like and how they work, and then at the end of the video, I'll give you my straight up recommendation. Before we begin, just a quick note, both Revolut Business and Airwallex operate as FCA authorized e-money institutions. In plain English, that means your balances are kept separately in safeguarded accounts at big regulated banks. This is known as ring fencing. So in the unlikely event that either company went under, that safeguarded money would be set aside to be paid back to you before other creditors. So there are pretty robust safety measures in place to protect your money. Now, Revolut Business is an app-based business account with 4 plan tiers: Basic, Grow, Scale, and Enterprise. And each tier gives you monthly allowances for things like free transfers and currency exchange. And it's very predictable, at least until you hit those limits, because then you'll start paying extra fees on certain transactions. Airwallex is different. It's a business-only global payments platform, not a bank, that's designed for businesses to scale without the same plan-based caps. They do have plans though: Explore, Grow, and Accelerate, but crucially, core features like transfers aren't tied to a monthly allowance, so you generally don't have to worry about running out of free transfers. And the entry-level Explore plan gives you access to all the standard features, and it can be free if you deposit or hold at least £10,000 a month. So if you're a brand new freelancer and not sure of your volume, Revolut's £10 a month basic plan is a simple fixed cost. But for an established business that's already moving money, Airwallex's free plan does offer you a lot of value. Now, all the fees and allowances I'm about to show you are correct for the UK as of November 2025. But these things change all the time, so I've put links to the latest pricing for both providers in the description box below. And when it comes to transferring money locally, Revolut includes 10 fee-free local transfers on Basic, 100 on Grow, and 1,000 on Scale. After that, it's 20 pence per transfer. For Airwallex, local bank transfers in over 120 countries do not carry a fee, which is a real advantage if you make lots of local payouts across different countries. For international transfers, Revolut gives you up to 25 fee-free on Scale. After that, it's a £5 per transfer. On Airwallex, a lot of transfer corridors run over local bank networks, which can mean faster speeds and lower fees. And if a country doesn't support the local route, Airwallex then falls back to Swift, which could cost between £10 and £20, so you absolutely want to make sure you're making use of their local network. Inside of your monthly FX allowances, Revolut lets you exchange at the interbank rate, but once you go over, they add a 0.6% fee, and unfortunately they also add a 1% fee for any exchange outside of market hours, like on a weekend, and yes, those fees can stack. So if you're over your monthly allowance and you need to send money on a Saturday, you could be looking at around a 1.6% fee on the whole exchange. Airwallex uses a simple fixed margin on the interbank rate, 0.5% on major currencies, 1% on others, and crucially, no weekend surcharge. But the real advantage is how they help you avoid converting currency in the first place. This is where their global accounts come in. So you can open local account details in 20 countries to hold over 20 currencies, and I'll show you how to do that shortly. But this means you can get paid like a local in 70 countries, and you can hold and spend all in the same currency. So if a US customer pays you $5,000, because you're a local business with US bank account details, that money lands in your USD account. So you can then pay a US supplier or run your US software expenses with it, and directly from that balance. No conversion in, no conversion out. That's a real game changer. Revolut's local accounts for UK businesses include GBP and EUR, which is definitely useful, but there's no doubt that Airwallex is built for a much wider global operation. When it comes to accepting payments, Revolut does have one advantage, and that's in person. They offer card readers and tap to pay on iPhone, while Airwallex is online only. So if you run a shop or a cafe, Revolut is obviously the clear winner. For online payments, the comparison is a bit more complex. Revolut covers the essentials. You get hosted checkout, simple payment links, and a really solid setup for getting paid. But both platforms also offer incredibly powerful APIs. Revolut's API is great for automating your own business tasks like making payments and managing cards. Airwallex's API also does this, but it's heavily focused on building custom global checkouts right into your site or app, and this is what they call their embedded payments solution. But their real obsession is checkout conversion, so making sure when a customer hits pay, the payment actually succeeds. That's why they also have deep plugins for platforms like Shopify and WooCommerce, and they use a lot of tech in the background to cut down on random bank declines. So first, they process your cards locally in more countries, and this can be huge because it can cut down on those random bank declined errors which can happen when transacting with an international company. So ultimately, more of your customers' payments get approved on the first try. And secondly, they let you offer more ways to pay, not just Visa, MasterCard, or American Express, but the specific local payment methods that people in different countries actually know and tend to trust. Both of these things are designed to do one thing: lift your checkout conversion rate. And as a bonus, for SaaS or subscription companies, Airwallex have a billing product which lets you invoice and charge customers on a schedule in their local currency, and even have the money land straight into your multi-currency wallet. The cost of accepting payments varies greatly. Now, if you mostly take UK consumer cards, Revolut could be cheaper with its 1% plus 20p fee. But most businesses take a mix. And consider this: for UK business cards, Revolut's fee is 2.8%, while Airwallex is 1.3%. That is a massive difference, especially if you're B2B. So while Revolut wins on consumer cards, Airwallex has a clear and significant advantage if you're taking payments from other businesses. And finally, when it comes to cards and spend management, both give you the essentials on their entry-level plans: physical and virtual cards, spend controls like freezing and setting limits, and receipt capture. But the devil is in the details. With Revolut, key features like manager approval are gated and not available on the basic plan. With Airwallex, expense management and approvals are included. So right out of the box, you can have your team submit expenses and have a manager approve them. And I'll shortly show you exactly how to set that up as well. You also get multi-currency expense cards, and this is really cool, you can manage multiple companies or entities from one single login. Revolut does let you link and switch between multiple business entities under one login, but each one is still its own separate account, so you can't see a true consolidated dashboard of all your businesses, which for me, with 3 limited companies, would be incredibly useful. Speaking of dashboards, let's now jump into Airwallex and take a look around. Okay, so the first thing you're going to see when you log in is an overview of your accounts, and we have total cash balances, which you can actually change to a different currency. There's your top currency balances. You have the various global accounts, which I'll show you how to create shortly. We have employee cards, and if I scroll down further, there's transfers, payments, and also this unique and quite interesting bit of data: average acceptance rate in the last 30 days. So this shows you exactly what percentage of your customers' payments are going through. And this is a really big deal, because if this acceptance rate is low, then you're literally losing sales without even noticing. Over on Revolut, you do get access to analytics, except they are available on Grow, Scale, or Enterprise. So let me just quickly upgrade so we can take a look. Okay, so we can see cash flow, income, spending, and merchant revenue. So unfortunately, no checkout conversion rate, but these are still very useful stats. And in true Revolut fashion, they are presented really well. So Revolut's main landing page has the latest transactions, and you can either view by currency account or as a whole. But as you can see, the dashboard is a lot lighter than Airwallex, although that doesn't mean it's not advanced. You have your main tabs. So we have cards, transfers, merchant for payments, And then you have Treasury. Now this is where you can earn interest on your business savings, a feature that Airwallex does have, just not yet in the UK, although I think it's expected to go live next year in 2026. Revolut has this available on Grow, Scale, and Enterprise, but as you can see, the interest rates are tiered based on the plan. You also have Team for permissions and rewards, which has discounts on services like Zero and Deal. Airwallex also offers discounts with their partners, which includes like Slack and Zendesk and Canva. But if you do want a more denser, informative homepage similar to what Airwallex offers, then you can add widgets to see stuff like we can add total assets, we can do a display of your cards, and even a quick way to upload a receipt, which is actually a really powerful feature. And with both Revolut and Airwallex, you can either take a photo of the receipt and upload it through your phone and using their app, or just upload now, which I'll do now, via the desktop. So you can upload photos of receipts via the desktop and they will automatically match it to your transaction. Both providers can handle batch receipts. And you'll just notice here on the Airwallex dashboard that they have they brand this as an AI feature that can match and categorize large batches of expenses for you. And when it comes to expenses, you can also set up approvals, and both Airwallex and Revolut offer this. So if we click spend approvals in the navigation, we can see that I've already set up a rule where if an expense is more than £5,000, it's going to need approval. But I can easily change this to a different amount. And if I wanted to, I could add a backup approver, perhaps a CFO or someone in accounting. And this is all very customizable and incredibly powerful. And these types of rules, they're not just available for expenses, you can set them up for reimbursements, bills, vendors, cards, and also purchase orders. With Revolut Business, if you're on Grow, Scale, or Enterprise, then you can also set up custom approvals that includes card requests, money transfers, expenses, and reimbursements. And like Airwallex, you can have more than one person set up for an approval. Now, this is what I've been really excited to show you. I want to show you the global accounts feature inside Airwallex, because this really highlights the core difference between the two providers. From the dashboard, if we click Wallet, Global Accounts, and then Create Global Account, and you'll immediately see this list of markets. And this is one of the greatest benefits of Airwallex, because all of these are local accounts in specific countries. And just look at the options. Like, I can choose an account in Hong Kong and select the Chinese yuan, which honestly is a huge deal for anyone working with like companies or suppliers in mainland China. I just have to click create, and now look at those details. That is a true local account at the Standard Chartered Bank in Hong Kong. Now, if we jump back to Revolut, I can also add a new account. And you can see a list of over 30 currencies, but, and this is the crucial difference, adding a currency is not the same as adding a local account. Let me compare the two main corridors for you. If we start with euros, on my Revolut account, it's labeled local SEPA transfers. But look very closely, okay? This is really interesting. Look at the IBAN. It starts with GB. Now, I spoke to Revolut support about this, and they're confident that this works perfectly for receiving SEPA payments, as the UK is still in the scheme. But now look at the EUR account I created earlier on Airwallex. The IBAN starts with DE for Germany, and the bank location is in Germany. That is the real difference here. So when your customer in the EEA, or let's just say, for example, your customer in Germany sees this local DE account, it can give them more assurances that there won't be any issues with the transfer or any IBAN related problems. And with US dollars, it's kind of the same pattern. So with Revolut, this isn't a US account. It's a UK account that holds USD with a GB IBAN. And as you can see from a discussion I had with Revolut support team, who were really helpful and responsive, they confirmed that for an American customer to pay you, they must send an international SWIFT wire. They cannot use a simple free domestic ACH transfer. With Airwallex, as you can see, you get a true US account with a local bank address and an ACH routing number. Again, like the EUR account, this will feel more like a local experience for your customer. And this is one of the biggest differences, okay? So Revolut gives you a sophisticated multi-currency wallet based here in the UK. Airwallex gives you a global payments network from a single dashboard. In fact, it's so powerful that it lets you open a true local account in Hong Kong to receive Chinese yuan. Honestly, for most UK businesses, that's incredibly difficult, but with Airwallex, somehow they let you do it in just a few clicks. When it comes to customer support, Revolut offers 24/7 in-app chat, which is available to all account holders, and I found I was able to speak to someone within a few minutes. Airwallex support is structured differently. For users on the Explore and Grow plans, it's primarily email-based, or you submit a request online. But, and this is critical for scaling businesses, on Accelerate, you do get a dedicated account manager. Revolut also offers an account manager for their top-tier enterprise plan. So this brings us to the key question. Who are these platforms actually built for? Well, Revolut by nature is a mobile-first platform, and it's brilliant at what it does. It's designed as a single powerful app to manage your day-to-day business finances, which is perfect for freelancers and startups, people who want, or businesses who want a clean, simple interface. Airwallex is also built as a single powerful platform, but it's designed to be the global engine, so to speak, for your entire financial operation. I talked briefly about their API, but what I found is that this is the core of their business because they are an API first company. So what that means is like their entire platform is built for your own developers to plug directly into. So instead of you manually managing your company's money, your tech team can set up automations for your entire workflow. So they can build a system to batch pay 1,000 suppliers at once, or even embed global payments into your own software. So if you're a tech company or a large e-commerce store or a platform that needs to automate at scale, I think Airwallex and their developer-friendly stack is a huge advantage that Revolut just isn't designed to compete with. And based on that, I think my final straight-up recommendation, and honestly, it's not that one is good or one is bad, it's that they are built for two completely different types of businesses. Revolut is a fantastic place to start, especially if you're a freelancer or a small business or someone that needs in-person payments, especially if your volumes are low enough to stay within those monthly allowances. But the moment you start to scale, okay, or the more you exceed those caps or need to accept B2B card payments or need true local account details, that's when you may start to feel the friction. And Airwallex is built for that next step. If you're an e-commerce business that cares about checkout conversion, or a B2B that just can't afford to pay 2.8% on commercial cards, or like I mentioned earlier, a tech company that needs a powerful API to automate your finances, then Airwallex is the clear choice. Their ability to open true local accounts around the world, like the German and Hong Kong ones I showed you earlier, that's not just a gimmick. That truly removes friction for your customers and saves you money on FX, and it's the foundation for building a truly global business. But that's just my opinion. If you already use Revolut Business or Airwallex, then let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, and if you'd like to learn more, I've put links to both providers in the description box below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.